Hello, Sairam. Today, uh, today's story, Gloskrutham Story. It is actually an English story. Hmm? It is actually an English story in which it should be noted that Gloskrutham stories are not something that's going anywhere. Its result orientations are low. They are imaginary. It just tries to invoke some quality thoughts. And the name of today's story is Aprapya Manasa Saha, an English Gloskrutham story. I hope you understand the meaning of Aprapya Manasa Saha. It's a Sanskrit word that which the mind cannot reach. It's sort of translation of that. So, the story starts with two twin sisters. Vidya and Veda are twin sisters, maybe some kind of, not exactly identical, but mostly identical. Very similar. Identical twin sisters. Veda always adored Vidya, who been a workaholic to a great extent. Vidya climbed up the corporate ladders fast to become a highly sought after executive, whereas Veda just adored Vidya and being her sweet sister, whom Vidya took care of completely. While Vidya had a PhD, doctorate in psychology, after her graduation in engineering, you may ask why Vidya went for, after graduation, went for a psychology PhD. Actually, after engineering, she went for a management program, a post graduation in management, and then from there she got into the psychology, where she took human resources as an elective. Human resources management. From there she went to make a doctorate in psychology. Veda been more sober with a post graduation in philosophy, and now supporting Vidya to climb up the corporate ladders with some kind of a based on settings for Vidya to jump up and high further and further in the corporate world with some philosophically stable undertones and bases. And underlying base threats are stronger foundations of planning. She gives, Veda gives, planning threats to Vidya many times. But some solid philosophical threats, undertones, and both Vidya and Veda are unmarried bachelor girls living in a posh villa of their own, a posh villa of their own in the city's prime location. While Vidya is not a virgin anymore, Veda is still a virgin girl. They also look very similar and like identical twins. Not exactly like identical twins, like differences are there, but look very similar. Only a very careful observer can find the differences in them. Even their parents many times mistook them for each other. Sometimes, not always. They were both somewhat above average, good looking ones, with some very sweet speaking skills, though not that fair. They need not be highly fair, um, they were they had sweet speaking skills. Somewhat looking good, having some good proportional shapes. While their father being a retired IAS man, their mother is a retired teacher. By the way, Balram Laidam is also an adorer of their father, the retired IAS man. Even he cannot differentiate Vidya and Veda many times, even after being a good observer. Veda is also a great admirer of Balram Laidam's CG and Gloskrutham programs and its philosophical undertones. But Vidya is slightly skeptical about those things, and it is to be noted that they both have a common, both Vidya and Veda have got a common email ID, Facebook account, etc., in Vidya's name. Though they share the password and the communications. Vidya got fallen in love with Balram Adams, another admirer, in the same name, without a tail, that is Balram. His name is Balram, uh, who is a highly sought after corporate executive, though not as acclaimed as Vidya. So Vidya has got some, I mean, uh, crush with Balram Adams, another admirer whose name is Balram, without a tail. Balram do not have many ancestral glories to speak about. So Vidya is in love with Balram Adams, one of Balram Adams, another admirer, that is, whose name is also Balram, who is a corporate executive, though not as acclaimed as Vidya. Balram Adam and Vidya's parents are opposed to Vidya's marriage with Balram because of some caste and creed issues for parents and because of FRNGS model for Balram Adam. FRNGS model has given something unfavorable for the marriage of Balram and Vidya. So Vidya's parents also do not want her to marry Balram because of caste creed issues. Because Balram is from another caste. But Vidya is never bothered much about the opinions of neither her parents nor Balram Ledam. Balram Ledam and his FRNGS models and CGQ models, etc., and freely interact with Balram. And she doesn't bother about all these sanctions, and she just goes with Balram. She doesn't mind going with Balram. Deeper and deeper into their relations. Veda is also supportive to Vidya with her adoration for Vidya's abilities. Veda is supportive of this relationship between Vidya and Balram. Vidya and Balram are not married at more because of their corporate career concerns, career interests. They both have career interests, so that's why they are not married yet. Rather than the opposition of their parents or the opposition of Balram and his CGQ methods using FRNGS model, etc., etc., that oppose their marriage. Vidya is still not convinced about Balram Adam's Gloskrutham worship things. PFAs, that is Panchabuddha Fans Associations, PFA, etc., etc. Though Balram and Veda are great admirers of these, these things like CGQ, FRNGS models, etc., etc., CGQ policies, CGQ programs, FRNGS models, etc., etc., as some good planning tools under uncertainty. They see this as as some very good, interesting planning tools to make decisions under uncertainty. For Vidya, uncertain situations are something to test your leadership skills more. Leadership and soft skills too. If something goes wrong, uncertainty is more for Vidya to test your leadership skills, and if something goes wrong, she uses her soft skills to overcome the failures under uncertainty. Under uncertainty, she is very good in copying her best competitor with a step further than and making a step further than her competitor's method, and then present them as her own with her presentability skills. Since she is very much better in her presentability skill, under uncertainty she just copies her best competitor and just puts, like the prick of a crow on an elephant. She just she just makes a slight modification to that and then present with her charming presentability. She presents those things as hers, and that's the way she does when she's stressed under situations of uncertainty. Nowadays, Vidya is slightly disturbed with a specific corporate issue wherein her assessments are going wrong into the uncertainty region many times, much more than the previous data, and she is compelled to do more and more fail-safe show-off programs than previously in the corporate world. Nowadays, she is even tempted to think to appreciate the Gloskrutham technologies and stories too. But her pride kept her back for some time because she had laughed at this and laughed at this all, and previously, but because she had laughed at this all these things previously as some baseless things. Vidya, out of compulsions, now started to think more. How much more bartering ability Veda, Balram, and their Gloskrutham technologies and stories can bring into her corporate interests. Now, she has started to see more value in giving more credits to the artistic department's opinions rather than bossing them and forcing them to deliver what she wants. After tremendous brainstorming sessions, they made a lot of brainstorming sessions. after making a lot of brainstorming sessions, she also now started to allow the auction and auction principles into her departments, as she found it can actually improve the bartering ability considerably, with some principles of uncertainty that previously seemed to her as though to be some kind of a resistance or blocks or something that pulls back her corporate interests. Now she has started to, after the brainstorming session, she has started to understand more that actually these things can be helpful in increasing the bartering ability of our corporate interests. Then along with Veda and Balaram Ledam, she devised a few methods of auction principles to counter the uncertainties in all her departments. And to her, the increased bartering ability of her corporate interests been more than enough to keep all her ego at bay for the strategic devising of Gloskrutham thoughts, mixing with the auction principles whenever, wherever the uncertainties are concerned. And then Balram Ledam and Veda also got some friend and part-time drifters jobs too, with the corporate world and industry of Vidya. Again, there ends that story. Again, this is also an imaginary and fictitious story that need not be connected to any life realities. Perhaps just like mermaid songs in Odyssey. Maybe like a disclaimer of the statement also. The statement is to be used as a disclaimer while if you are trying to plan, if you are planning in this directions. And that's what the story is. Aprapya Manasa Saha. Sai Ram, and bye bye for the time being. Bye bye.